Hello everyone, thanks so much for joining us again at the Optum Care Community Centers. It's Ben Brock and we have a really fun class for you today. Alison is going to be taking us through an art lesson. Now this lesson is about 20 minutes long and you're going to need a pen, pencil, eraser maybe, and piece of paper. Now go ahead and gather all of these things. And what I'll also say is this class is for every skill level. So really, no matter where you're at talent-wise with art, go ahead and just have fun and enjoy.
Welcome. So glad you could be here. We're going to do a little art exercise today. I'm going to show you an exercise in seeing drawing. So we're going to go very slow for this one. It's called continuous line contour drawing. And what we're going to do is describe the edge of our subject as though we're touching it with our hand. So we're going to go extremely slowly as we draw the edges of whatever the subject is that you have chosen. I chose a lily today because everyone responds to flowers. So when we're drawing seeing, we're really focused more on the seeing aspect and letting the line just follow the edge, the internal edge, the external edge, leading from one edge to the next. And we're not going to lift the pen as we're doing this. We're going to keep it as a slow motion seeing drawing exercise. So all you will really need for this is a piece of paper, blank paper, a pen. You can use a ballpoint pen or a felt tip pen, whatever kind of pen suits you. Okay, so let's get started. Okay, so we're going to get started with a continuous line contour drawing. And I always suggest using it in pen, but you can do pencil, but no erasing. So what we want to do to begin is really relax is the first thing. And take a deep breath. Maybe if you want your tea or your coffee, your choice. And I want you just to look at your subject and place your gaze as though you're engaged with your subject. You're having this, not a dialogue, because we're not really using language in the sense of labeling. In fact, we don't want to label this leaf. Now I'm drawing the leaf, now I'm drawing the petal, now I'm drawing the stem. We really don't want to have that kind of dialogue going on in our heads. We want to switch over, as Betty Edwards says, to kind of that wordless state of just seeing. And it's kind of amazing when you get there, and it doesn't happen quickly. But as you start drawing, you can find that time kind of falls away, and you're in this great place of just seeing and being. So, to prepare, just relax, gaze at your subject, find a place. So everyone will say, well, where should I start? Well, in this case, we don't really need to choose a specific location. Wherever you feel like entering the subject is the place. And we're not going to worry about the edge of the page or anything. And we're going to keep our gaze, let's just say 70% on the subject, and not worry so much about here. This is just a recording of what we're seeing. So when we begin, we want to imagine our drawing instrument is touching the edge of what we're drawing. And when it intersects something else, we can go ahead and follow that intersection. And people say, well, how do I get to the other end of the flower? Well, you can find a way back there, or you can, ride some of these other shapes to get back there. So it's a very organic process of drawing, and it's very peaceful. So Don't be attached to the outcome. Enjoy the process. So let's begin. So I'm waiting until I'm sure I'm touching the edge. And I'm going to move really slowly here. It's almost like very tender engagement with seeing. And I'm going a little bit fast because I know this is like a demo, so I don't want to go completely in slow motion. But each of these, I could come down. Each of these are tactile edges, so I'm just allowing my pen to like coast along. I come to the end of maybe a shape, I go to a next one. Come in. And if you want a heavier line, go ahead and press. Maybe you want like a heavier line on the lower side. This is going to go off the page for sure. Oh, well. Here we go. We're going to come back. So it's a very kind of tender process of drawing. It's very slow. And you learn to appreciate what you're looking at. And I'm not picking up my pencil, and I'm not exactly lining up everything perfectly. Oh, well, So just enjoy the trip, because it's really, enjoyable just to like follow the edges, follow what this flower is doing. Enjoy. And if you're using a pencil, it's a little more responsive to pressing. And again, I'm going really kind of fast. You can slow down even more. And if your line is shaky, that's fine. It's really about seeing and kind of appreciating and understanding the plant and all of its complexity. It's almost like a meditative process, right? You could call it meditation if you weren't talking. So if I'm going to have a conversation in my head, it's going to be, okay, curve. Oh, this is curved. Maybe a little jiggly. So we're not labeling things. We tend to label things with our left brain, and we want to simply be and see where we're going without that heavy process of labeling. Just enjoy. You could kind of pick up your pen a little if you want that gap there. And I like a pen because you don't get all fussy and think you can erase. You just do what is. And it might not look like what you're seeing. And I'm already way off here, but I'm just going to keep going. Off in terms of, what do I mean by off? In terms of like proportion and all that. So here I've come to an intersection. I can just come across and reconnect. It's all these beautiful curves that you don't necessarily... Okay, the long straight parts are really hard because you want to have action, right? You're looking for the next kind of movement. So it's a very slow process. And at the end, you might not have a drawing you like, but by the next time and the next time, you'll understand the process of seeing. You will have trained yourself. First of all, to not get attached to the outcome or not be fearful about making a masterpiece or not. So it's just like a really fun ride. I'm going to jump here. And I'm trying to look more at my outside, where I'm going. Than at my page. But it's hard. I understand that. We do have this attachment to the outcome, but try to just let go of it. Let it be secondary. So there are inside edges and outside edges. Especially with this lily, there's like this beautiful outside edge, and then there's a far edge. So it's just kind of an appreciation of what we're drawing. Even if we're like abstractionists, this is kind of about abstraction also. And these are shapes I could never invent on my own, and they are happening right in front of me. It's kind of fantastic. And again, I'm going really quite fast. So I don't know, I've been drawing for about 10 minutes. I would say, clock it. Eddie Edwards and Nicolaides, they both say, set a timer. All of these are tactile edges. So a tactile edge is something you can touch, right? So we're not really looking at value or lights and darks in this process. We're just following edges. It goes already here. So I'm kind of getting lost in this lily, and this scent is kind of intoxicating. But I'm going pretty much making my way around here. And I am jumping a few places, but I'm staying pretty connected in terms of the continuous line contour. So this connection is really important for this exercise. And I could say I'm cheating a little bit by lifting up my pen. You can see why Georgia O'Keeffe loved flowers. They're just kind of really complex. So all of these edges are ones that are not shadows. They're edges that I can touch and experience. through touch. And your sense of touch and your sense of sight are very connected. There's something called synesthesia where, you can smell a color and hear a form. I hope this is looking enjoyable. Because that's the point. That's what I want to get through, is that it's just a really engaging process. And it's really good practice for seeing. If you're an artist, you can always come back to this. My 8th grade teacher had us doing this forever. This practice of contour line. It's super valuable. And you're staying connected with what you're seeing. You're not making, something styly or arty, hopefully. You're really more about the seeing and connecting with what you're seeing. And it doesn't have to be a flower. We can connect with, the tools or the can opener or whatever that you find to draw. I find that nature is very, most people engage in something natural. It's because we're human, we love nature. And this is like a way to really see something. Not like, hey, scan it. Oh, that's a nice flower. I'm going to take a photograph of it. And then you don't really see it. It becomes this picturesque thing. When you get farther on, I'll start talking about negative and positive shapes. But for now, just ride those edges. And if you get lost in it, like I've gotten lost numerous times, just keep going. It's in the process. So I'm gonna just stop there. It is what it is. So, try it. You might want to try something less complex. You might want to try something more complex. But what you're doing is really, you're doing this super simple line edge. And where it turns, you're going to turn with it. And then you're going to come back and do the other edge. And then you might have to pick up the other edge. So it's almost like you're putting together a puzzle. And it's very fun. And if you stop talking, you'll get into that zone of really just being and seeing without critic, without a verbal dialogue. Thank you so much.